The new Prius is raising the hybrid benchmark with crazy good looks, a more comfortable interior that has a bunch of modern tech, and a bunch of random hashtags to look cooler, I guess. Now, the Prius that I'm driving here today also happens to be the fastest Prius ever. My name is Omar, and this is the 2023 Toyota Prius Prime. All right, from a standstill, go. Yeah, it may be the fastest Prius ever, but 6.6 seconds to 60 still feels like 6.6 seconds. So what are you working with here? Under the hood, you have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine making 150 horsepower. You also have a 161 horsepower electric motor, and working together in perfect harmony, they pump out a total of 220 horsepower, which, yes, is 100 more horsepower than the outgoing Prius Prime. And yes, it feels great to zip around in this. Toyota has done a great job of making both of the new Prius models more engaging and definitely more comfortable. That said, it's not like people will be running to buy the plug-in hybrid Prius Prime because of its performance. No, they'll be buying it for its efficiency, and when it comes to that, this simply kills it. With a larger 13.6 kilowatt per hour lithium-ion battery, the Prius Prime gets a 76% bump in its all-electric range. That means you can get up to an estimated 44 miles on a full charge of that bigger battery on the base SE trim. Both of the XSE trims will get 39 miles on a full charge. And I gotta say, that's actually quite impressive. Now, you do have a couple of drive modes, including custom, sport, normal, and eco, but you also have an EV mode, a hybrid and EV auto mode, and a hybrid mode. But yeah, if your commute is less than those ranges that I just mentioned, you can go to work and back without ever using a single drop of gas, which isn't bad at all. Now, when it comes to charging, you have a battery capacity of 13.6 kilowatt per hour. The Prius Prime has an onboard charger with the capacity of 3.5 kilowatts. So Toyota estimates that it will take you a total of 11 hours on a standard 120 volt outlet and about 4 hours to fully recharge from a level 2 charger. Which, yeah, is cool, but what's cooler is that the Prius Prime can be had with a solar panel roof. And that solar panel roof is capable of charging the battery with the power from the sun while it's parked. On the other hand, it will supply power to the auxiliary functions while you're just driving around. Now, it's been pretty rainy and cloudy here in San Diego, so my solar range shows absolutely 0, but this is pretty cool. I don't expect this to fully recharge your battery or give you a ton of range, but it's a great option to have just to assist you. That said, let's talk about how this drives. Now, I tested the regular Prius a few months back, and this drives pretty similar to that. You're definitely going to feel the upgrade if you're coming out of an older Prius Prime into this new one. The new one here has a lower center of gravity, increased rigidity, and less weight, and all of that helps this feel more composed and more agile. The ride quality has improved significantly over the outgoing model. It's much, much better. Actually, if you're coming from an older Prius, you might think that you're jumping into a Lexus rather than just another Prius. Now again, in terms of responsiveness, both of the new Prius models have more power, and it's not punch you in the face faster, but it's not as slow as it used to be. The outgoing model was extremely slow. This just makes it feel more normal and livable. That said, keep in mind that when you're on EV power alone, your top speed is limited to 84 miles an hour, and since you don't have the engine to help you, it feels pretty sluggish. So you do have to play the balancing game of whether you want acceleration or full electric mode. On the flip side, if you enjoy the newfound sportiness of the Prius, that 220 horsepower and 0 to 60 time of 6.6 seconds will be there as long as the battery has range. Once the battery runs out, you're working with just a 150 horsepower 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, so you'll feel the difference in its acceleration. It'll be a little bit more sluggish. So again, it will be a balancing game of whether you're looking for acceleration or efficiency, but overall, this is a huge improvement over the outgoing model. Those who currently drive a Prius will absolutely appreciate the upgrade that Toyota has made. Those who have never driven a Prius before and are thinking about getting one won't be turned away by a sluggish drive. Not to mention, they won't be turned away by it for it looking ugly and boring, and something they won't be embarrassed of driving on a first date. That said, let's pull over and check out the exterior and interior of the new Prius Prime. Now let's talk about the looks really quick. There is no doubt that this is the baddest and sexiest Prius ever. Of course, the Prime doesn't look that different from the regular Prius. The only real way to tell this apart from a regular Prius is the Prime badge here on the back, and then of course, since this is a plug-in hybrid, you have an outlet right here for charging. But yeah, this is the coolest looking hybrid out right now in my opinion. The front end is really bold and is inspired by a hammerhead shark. Of course, you get LED headlamps and LED daytime running lights. And then the side profile of the new Prius is really nice with a sloping roofline here on the back. And then I gotta say that I'm really digging the rear of the new Prius. It's got a very classy and handsome stance from the back. Now hop inside, and again, it's a very nice and modern update. Toyota definitely focused on making the new Prius and Prius Prime more elegant feeling this time around, instead of too techy with a large tablet in the middle. Everything is really well put together, and here on the XSE that I'm driving, you have soft touch materials throughout the cabin. You also have this really cool red ambient lighting because the Prime has a little bit of a sporty side to it. Heated front seats are standard on the two XSE trims. Ventilated seats can only be had on the XSE, and get this, a heated steering wheel is standard on all trims. The SE gets cloth seats, while the two XSE trims get soft text vegan leather seats that are power adjustable. Interestingly enough, you can't get dual zone climate control on the Prius. I mean, it's not like it's that big, so I get it. Now tech-wise, depending on the option and trim you get a large 12.3-inch touchscreen display with Toyota's new infotainment system. But no matter which trim you go for, you're always gonna have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, so that's nice. Navigation is still subscription-based. Of course, since this is a plug-in hybrid, you do have some hybrid-specific info here that you can look at while you're driving around. Now, you do have a digital gauge cluster display, but it is very, very simple. And again, I complained about this on my regular Prius review. I just don't like the placement of it. I don't like how the steering wheel blocks all the info right in front of you. You're supposed to look over the steering, not through it, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of how this is set up. Oh, and by the way, the upgraded JBL sound system is only available on the XSE Premium trim. As far as driver assist tech goes, you get Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 as standard across all trims. And that means you get adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane tracing assist, all the cross traffic alerts, road sign recognition, traffic jam assist, and much, much more. You can get a 360 surround view camera on the top trim, and a digital rear view mirror is also optional on the XSE Premium. And check this out, you can also get advanced park assist on the XSE Premium, where the Prius Prime will actually park itself and also back out of a spot. This is the first Toyota that I've seen with this tech, and that's pretty cool. All right, so hop in the rear seats of the new Prius Prime, and you have a total of about 35 inches of legroom back here, which is the same as the regular Prius. I'm about 6 foot tall, that's my seating position. As you can see, I still have a good amount of room. Not to mention, you can get heated seats back here as an option, but only on the XSE trim. Now let's check out the cargo capacity really quick. You could pop open the tailgate just by pushing a button located right underneath the Toyota logo. And once you get it open, you have 20 cubic feet behind the second row, and then you have 60-40 split rear seats, and with them down, you have 27 cubic feet, which is a little bit smaller than the outgoing Prius. Sorry for the plane going, or helicopter going above my head. All right, before we get into the pricing details and whether or not if you should buy yourself a Prius Prime, let me put in a few important daily ownership highlights that I'd love to show all of you. Here are the keys to the Prius Prime. You do have a Prime logo. Prius Prime, Prius Optimus Prime logo right there. Nice. Door close sound from the outside. And the inside, solid. Charging game wise, in the front you have two USB-C ports, and then your wireless charger is right here. And just in case you didn't know, it says #wireless charger. Those sitting in the back have two USB-C ports and a household outlet. And of course, let's do an indicator and horn sound test. Indicator first. Not that crazy exciting. Now for the horn sound. Yeah, it makes sense. Why not? So, should you get yourself the new Prius Prime? The only way that I would get the Prius Prime over the regular Prius is if my daily commute was less than 30 miles and I was super religious about charging this up every single day, because I don't think many plug-in hybrid owners out there are that crazy about plugging in and charging it up every single day. The other thing is that the Prius Prime only comes with front-wheel drive, while the regular Prius can be had with all-wheel drive. And of course, then we have the pricing. While the regular Prius starts at around $27,000, the Prius Optimus Prime here starts at around $32,000. A fully loaded regular Prius Limited sits at around $35,000, while a fully loaded Prius Prime XSE Premium starts approaching $40,000. So yeah, personally for me, sticking with the regular Prius just makes more sense. But if you're somebody that doesn't drive too much, the Prius Prime definitely makes more sense for you. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. All right, gonna do another launch in sport mode. Oh, some tire screeching. I gotta say, this acceleration feels pretty good. I like it. This is probably the first time that I would consider getting a Prius for myself. 220 horsepower isn't bad at all. You know, I've pulled over a couple times today filming this around San Diego, and people have come up to me nonstop talking about how good this thing looks. So that's a huge group focus test right there. If people are walking up, normal people every day, going, wow, the Prius actually looks good this time around, that's a big plus for it. And in my opinion, it looks great. I think this is a very sleek design, a very nice and comfortable interior. I'm not a fan of the steering wheel, and that horn sound is not that exciting. But overall, it's a very comfortable place to be, especially if you're going for a long drive. These seats are super, super comfortable. Peace out.